acknowledge myself for about 7 years. And my high weight was 215 in 2011. And my lowest in 2013 was 147. So I got to a normal BMI, and I achieved my doctor's goals. I had the lap band in 2012. I went in a 9-month pre-op diet, educational plan on how to get ready for bariatric surgery, which I had in September. I lost between about 65 pounds. I maintain about 60, 50 pounds, between 50 and 60 pounds. Wintertime is my heaviest, summertime is my lightest. I cycle my diets through the seasons. I do low carb. I still follow the bariatric rules, but then I do some body hacks in between. 7 years later, of course, the first 2 years I followed the bariatric rules. I followed my surgeon's guidelines. And then after that, I was on my own. For 3 months, I only had a metabolic prelude for metabolic weight loss surgery, so-called honeymoon. And then the work began, right? So I've been fighting this obesity thing really since 2013. I lost all my weight in the whole year. The second year, I worked on my fitness. The third year, I worked on a new body hack. And then I worked on my fitness even more. Every year after that, I cycled my new year with a new plan. So my new plan this year is to do racket sports. That's my new sport. And I'm doing intermittent fasting with Dr. Jason Fung's protocol. I do a low carb diet. I don't really practice a so-called a high fat diet. I'm sort of like in the middle there. I like butter. I don't eat too much oils. I don't fry in oils. I don't eat an extra amount of fat. That's just my body because I'm a postmenopausal woman. My metabolism has been broken for years and years and years and years. I became insulin resistant, I think, when I came here. I changed my diet, I changed my lifestyle. I had a new husband. Before I knew it, I opened my eyes and I gained weight, right? 10 pounds. I gained about 10 pounds a year. This was me in 2004. So basically, I look like that. I mean, I maintained my weight. Wasn't easy because I have a family of obesity. Yeah, I have a family of fatties. Yeah, my family genetic pool is not metabolically stable. I have short Italian people that love to eat pasta. I was raised somewhat in a healthy environment. I was always active. I wouldn't call myself a fat kid. Yeah. So basically, my problem started after 2004. I got married in 2006. I moved. I created a whole new lifestyle for myself, changed everything, moved to a new state, got a new job. I had stressors. I had emotional stress. It's all in my videos on my other channel, Reinventing My Life. So basically, changed my gut bacteria, changed everything. So before I knew it, I was unhealthy and fat, obese. And I was on my way to a metabolic shitstorm and possibly a heart attack, right? And possibly medical conditions that would keep me on the medical go-round, taking toxic medications to ruin my body that would eventually contribute to my demise or some kind of horrible medical condition. I have Alzheimer's in my family, I have cancer in my family. So yeah, this time I had a female shitstorm going on for years for hormonal stuff, PCOS, all that kind of stuff. Never could get any answers. When I first came here, was I about 10 pounds overweight? Maybe. But after that, that was 20 pounds. I gained 10 pounds, about 9 pounds every year, till in 2011, I look like that. Isn't that nice? I got a little body. I'm not a big bone woman. I'm not, what do you call that? Amazon or tall legs. I have a very little body. I'm very petite. And as I age, I'm postmenopause, I get shorter by the day. Back in the day, I used to be 5'4". Now today, I'm 5 foot, between about 5'3". Some days I can be even shorter a bunch. So yeah, I don't know. That was me. I was on my way to a heart attack. I was on my way to maybe cancer because what? Cancer loves fat cells. Yeah. So I had bariatric surgery. I had lap in. It's all my videos. It's my lowest. My hair fell out. That was when I went another body hack. I went plant-based. I went vegan for a whole year to get me lean. Yeah. Became a triathlete. Yeah. So that didn't last long. Then I had a hormonal shitstorm. I hurt my leg. I had midst of inflammation. I got lymphedema, and it's all my videos. So I've been climbing out that ladder, falling down. So now I do Dr. Fung's protocol. Yay.
But the beta cells are burning out, right? And that's why type 2 diabetes is chronic. And eventually, you take medication, then you take insulin, then you take more insulin, then more insulin, more insulin. And that's the way we tell people to think about type 2 diabetes. Fortunately, it's not really true. So the key is to understand what insulin resistance actually is. Okay, where does it come from? How does it develop? So in order to understand insulin resistance, you got to think about what insulin normally does. So when you eat food, insulin goes up, right? Insulin basically tells the body that food is coming in and you should store some of it. So you store sugar in the liver, which is glycogen, and you store fat also. So if you eat too much carbohydrates, then that is going to be produced by a process called de novo lipogenesis.
De novo lipogenesis. We go on the pre-op diet, right? Before we have surgery. To what? Shrink that liver. Some livers are really big. They have to lift it up to do the bariatric surgery. Some even people have to have their gallbladder out because their gallbladder is so big that it's full of stones. From what? From fat. Right. Some people already have diabetes before they have surgery. And when we have bariatric surgery, within weeks, the blood sugar goes down, they go off their medicine, even hypertension goes away. There's a lot of things, and he even mentions it in this video, how bariatric weight loss surgery reverses some medical conditions, diabetes, high blood pressure, and he even mentions the lap band. Me, I'm a dinosaur in this community, aren't I? Because there's not many of us who have lap bands left. Unfortunately, I don't have any recourse because I can't get a revision. I'm broke, I have no medical insurance, and I would have to get really fat again. I would have to look like this girl. Sorry, not going back there. Not even for a revision. I might go to Mexico if I get $7,000, but I don't want to go in debt right now. We'll continue.
Genesis into fat. And when you don't eat, which is simply called fasting, right? That's just the flip side of eating. When you don't eat, insulin falls. And as it falls, it tells your body to pull some of that sugar and pull some of that fat back out of the system. So as long as you balance your feeding and fasting, you got a well-balanced system, you don't actually gain any weight. right? Because you eat, you store sugar. You don't eat, you fast, you burn sugar, right? That's basically all it is. So insulin does a couple of things. So it lets all this glucose into the cell, but it also produces this new fat, right?
So the issue about us is that we have a lot of things going on here. We not only have to tackle obesity, but a lot of us have food addictions, right? We're addicted to unhealthy foods. We're addicted to sugar. We're addicted to fast food. We're eating for emotional reasons. And there's a whole conundrum of paradigm of why we became obese, right? You heard my story. I was addicted to fast food. Yes, I was. I had to fight that demon. It took me 6 months to get that food beast out of my head. 6 months. I don't touch that fast food. I eat whole foods in its natural form. So people say, oh, you can eat a little bit. No, I can't. I stayed away from social functions for 2 solid years. Yes, I did. I didn't go to no parties, no engagements, no Christmas parties, no birthdays, nothing. I had to stay away. Why? Because I was weak. I was weak. I was addicted to food, I admit it. But guess what? Today, my mantra, I am stronger than the food. And what? I had found this fasting. I had done that years ago, but I got so obese that the food was more powerful than me. Then I had weight loss surgery, and it made me get my power back. I will never let the food. I will never give my power back to that food again. So I fight. I'm fighting.
The de novo lipogenesis. So there's 2 functions, not simply one. And this is the way we think about type 2, about insulin resistance. It's this lock and key paradigm, that insulin acts like a key on the cell. So this is, for example, a liver cell. So you have that's what happens when the glucose can't go in. But this is what type 2 diabetes looks like, right?
So if you have a high BMI and you still have fat on your body, you're not going to starve, honey. You're not going to starve.
This is what we're calling internal starvation. There's something a little bit wrong with that paradigm of a gummed up lock and key system, because there's a paradox here that is not explained by this gummed up lock and key. Because if you look at this liver cell, okay, so insulin, it pushes the glucose into the cell. And if you're insulin resistant, it doesn't do that. So, okay, that's great. But the other thing this liver cell is supposed to do is turn on production of new fat. So if you're insulin resistant, you can't produce any new fat. So like that untreated type 1 diabetes, you waste away. But that's not the case in type 2 diabetes. If the glucose is not going into the cell, how is this cell producing tons and tons and tons of fat? Because we know that the type 2 diabetes, the insulin resistant patient, has a lot of insulin resistance, has a lot of fatty liver. In fact, you always see the fatty liver, right? So how can this cell, the very same cell, the very same insulin, the very same insulin receptor, be resistant on the one hand to one of the functions and super sensitive to the other function? It's not correct. And we've based our entire treatment of type 2 diabetes on an incorrect paradigm. So what happens in this liver cell, of course, is that you have insulin. As you have insulin, it puts the
So it goes over fatty liver disease.
that same dose of insulin is not going to be able to shut up anymore.
And then it goes over some bariatric surgery talk.
To develop diabetes, and one that an overflow paradigm, right? So the cell is like this luggage, right? As you fill it up, it's harder and harder to put in more stuff. So flow paradigm, just like this. Your cell is like a train, right? And it's got passengers, and normally they go in. Insulin opens the door, stuff goes in. Okay. Get in, so keep trying to shove it in, which is fine at first. Then you go to the next stop, you hire more guys, right? You hire more insulin guys, keep shoving it in, right? And then it works for the next stop. Then you hire more guys, keep shoving it in until you can't anymore.
Fast food,
anything
anything that makes the blood sugar go up.
So the key to understanding type 2 diabetes is it's all about the fatty liver, as Mark just talked about, right? The liver cell is just packed with fat. So you can't shove any more in. That's the whole point. In the meantime, the liver is busy trying to decompress itself with all this fat, right? So what it does, so it's making all this new fat through de novo lipogenesis, and it packages it.
I didn't have a fatty liver
blood,
yet,
right? And it's
but probably at 52, probably now I'm 58, I probably would have had a fatty liver if I would have stayed this big, and I probably would have got bigger because I was gaining about 6 to 10 pounds a year.
Right? This is how you make foie gras. Right?
This is me at 215 pounds.
Everybody used to eat it.
See that leg?
Starch, right? Because you want the liver to make new fat. You don't make new fat by eating fat.
So did you see that there? You know what they give it? That's a goose.
Anybody used to eat it.
They're giving the carbohydrates, corn,
right? Because you want
make it fat.
the liver to make new fat. You don't make new fat by eating fat. Humans don't do that. The dietary fat does not go to the liver. It goes directly to the
So they say the dietary fat don't go to liver, but I'm still in a losing phase, so.
What happens is when you feed it starches, and fructose particularly, you get fatty liver. And that's what happens.
Fructose, and he even talks about fruit, right? What does our bariatric doctor told me? Well, mine told me no fruit. No fruit. I didn't eat fruit for 2 years.
Yeah, understanding this is that it's hyperinsulinemia, high insulin, but also.
And I try to keep my carbs under 30 grams.
Insulin resistance, that's the key to everything. So if you eat a lot of fat and carbohydrates on the left, you can stimulate insulin, right? And that will lead to obesity, but high insulin levels over a long period of time are also going to stimulate fatty liver, right? As you produce it. So this is going on to 18 minutes, and I'm going to end it here. So I'm going to link a card. I hope you found this interesting. I'm just going to try to, in the future, bring some educational videos that you might find interesting, that you may want to look at, that are going to help you to understand your disease, so that when you have your bariatric surgery, or if you had a regain, you know how to start stop the brain from eating incorrectly by doing a light fast, intermittent fasting, however you do it. I eat OMAD. I've practiced this type of eating. I practiced it all in 2018. So now I just do OMAD and I'm fine. I don't ruminate about food. Some days I'll go off. Some days I'll do 2 meals a day. But I'm a postmenopausal woman, okay? My BMR is low. My metabolism is broken. So my calorie count may not be the same as yours. We're all different metabolically, genetically, hormonally, age-wise. So I have to watch everything that I put in my mouth, even though I do regular fitness daily. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And tune in next time. Give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel.